Would you say Diddy is like an intelligent?
He's not only smart, but he's ruthless. He's preying on a community's weaknesses. In certain industries, people show up wanting to be prey. They want to get eaten. Film industry is one of those industries. I'm not trying to blame victims, but I'm just saying, when you have no morality and you're willing to do, people are like, I'll do anything for my dream. I'd be like, no, I wouldn't do anything for my dream.
Word.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain lines I won't cross for nothing.
Yeah. Yo. Don't you be a fool, you finna hear the truth. Watch me do what I do. On the pod with the mic and I ain't keeping it cool. Gotta bring the heat, gotta hit the street. Gotta stay 100, they ain't scaring me. You wanna censor a boss, you wanna censor a king. I'm not taking a loss, facts is all I bring. I'm speaking candidly, ancestors they stand with me. It's Pharaoh and Dessalines, the blunt of reality.
What's going on, Blunties? It's your boy, Dessalines.
Hey, with Pharaoh, yo, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not gonna lie to you, Blunties. Yo, we got a very special episode with you guys today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Listen, I'm gonna get straight into it. Today, the blunt of reality has the absolute privilege to interview a multi-winning award filmmaker, a Bram Stoker Award-nominated writer, a festival veteran of Cannes, Tribeca, Sundance, and many others, including the Horror Film Festival. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He directed the first season of the Investigation and Discovery Channel's Primal Instinct and has directed and produced a long list of other shows on television.
Let's go.
Author of The Dark Between the Twilight, Everything Endless, and many more books available for purchase right now on Amazon. Blunties, it's an honor to introduce the director, poet, dreamer, legend, my brother, Jamal Hodge. Yes, sir. Welcome, Jamal. It's really nice to have you here.
Good to be here, brother.
How you feeling there, man?
I'm feeling good. Like, I normally don't get asked that question, so sometimes I forget I got feelings.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
know, like, you know what I'm saying?
Jamal, to be honest, there's a lot that we could go into, but we're gonna ease into a lot. There's a million things that we could talk about.
Right.
We was actually talking earlier, about a lot of different types of subjects and stuff like that, right? But we're gonna stay on script real quick, you know what I mean? Because we want to get to know you from the beginning. Like, for example, everybody has that first time. I know I did, as far as when it comes to acting. Where you start to notice your creative juices flowing, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
We want to know for you, Jamal, with all your success in the beginning, what was the first moment or experience you knew you loved this world of creating and film and writing? Like, what really was the inspiration that one point was like, yo, no, this is it?
I mean, for me, honestly, it was the first time I saw Roots. When they hit Kunta with that whip. No.
Yeah.
It was honestly, I'm one of those weirdos who was just always knew I wanted to do from the moment I was born.
Right.
Wow.
I've always been a storyteller. I didn't know it was like a griot tradition. You know what I'm saying? Where sometimes you're kind of called to storytelling and the power of storytelling, how stories kind of like shape the context of reality. It gives gives meaning to life and things in life, the things of life. But I was always curious and fascinated by people mainly, and not necessarily the things you can see, but the unseen things about people always fascinated me.
Right, like they're actual real stories, like the motivations behind everything.
Yeah, I was a nosy little bastard. You know what I mean? I was like that little kid that goes asking questions in the school. Yo, why you do that? Mad annoying, bro.
I mean, yeah, that's the question of mankind. You want to know exactly what's going on with the person. At a certain point, you do. Like, I feel like early in your life, some people just see people as 2D, like just what's in front of me. That's it. Instead of thinking about their but what did your family think about this? Like, did you have family who saw that you was getting into whatever creative, whatever it was writing, directing, producing? What was their first reaction?
Well, I mean, I got a big family, my mom's had 7 kids, you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of us. It was a whole plethora of plethora of
Yeah.
freaking reactions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it was mainly, for the most part, more like neutral ambivalence. You know how it is as an artist, man.
Yeah.
Yo's the widow in the family, and then for a while, you'd be wondering why you're so different. Growing up, when we was growing up, if you couldn't fight, play ball, or you didn't have like good grades, it was hard for people to place you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it was kind of like, the girls wasn't feeling you if you was like some weirdo artist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But writing, I found really connected, with everybody on a certain level, because people be like, oh, that poetry shit is whack, but then they'll be rapping, right?
Right. It's poetry.
Yeah. And what's the difference between writing music and writing, let's say, poetry, right? Or writing a regular writing? It's a really simple difference, right? It's like the only difference between writing for music and writing regular writing, prose or whatever, or poetry, is that music is written obviously for music and poetry is written for silence.
Right. That's powerful. I never heard that before.
So that's the difference between those two. So like in a lot of ways, I was always into like reading and writing, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then I started getting to astronomy when I was young. They eventually got me a telescope. And everybody thought I was a pervert, you know what I'm saying? I had a big ass telescope in the window and shit. You know what I'm saying? The wife beater on, mad skinny. I
can imagine that.
There's people.
That shit look crazy.
They be like, yo, you're not even looking up. Why is the telescope looking down and shit? Like, you know what I'm saying?
What? Yo, that sounds crazy.
But I really was into like the stars and into like, constellations, into like a lot of things, man. I had to do a lot of crazy things in the South Bronx.
Nah, that makes sense. Like the stars, the galaxy. Like, you're talking about Star Trek generation. You're talking about the generation of kids who were looking at that. Were you into any of those shows, like stuff like that?
Yeah, of course. I was into all that stuff. I remember when they had I was like, yo, man, it'd be dope to see a black captain. And then we had Deep Space Nine. I was like, oh shit, yo, Deep Space Nine, yo. But I'm like, why they got the black nigga out in deep space though? Why he gotta be on the station? Like, he not even traveling. Picard was traveling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shatner was traveling. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was traveling, but they got him stuck in one place with all these aliens around him. In the Deep Space Nine, like, he out deep. Like, they got, like, I was
you
like,
gotta go to the back. I don't give. You gotta go.
He back in the bus and Starfleet.
Whatever. That shit don't make no sense, bro.
Yeah.
But listen, all right. So that's a little bit of your childhood. So when you first actually started getting into the industry.
Yeah.
Everyone knows where it's at right now. For those of you who don't know, as far as film, the film industry right now, it's a competitive.
It's in shambles right now.
There it is.
Hold down because of the pandemic, the strikes, and now emerging technologies.
Right, AI and all of that.
Set it back.
Yeah.
So now we're back to the Wild Wild West.
Yeah. So from back then, when you first started, I'm sure there was some, trials and tribulations. What was the hardest obstacles to get through in the beginning? And also, what are the hardest obstacles to go through right now? I mean, you just named a few, but when you first started, what were they?
The first time you start anything, whether it's creative or anything, it's basically, for me personally, but also usually in general, it's always confidence and competence. So, like, you really think about any interview in life where you're going for a job or something like that, what they're looking at, I call it the 4 C's, but the first 2 C's is confidence and competence, right?
Right.
And what that means is that you don't have the experience to be competent, and because you're not competent, you're not confident. So it's hard to find your confidence when you're not competent. And then it goes into your relationship between fear and danger, right?
Right.
So if I asked you, like, yo, man, yo, what's the difference between fear and danger? What would you say?
The difference between fear and danger. Danger is real. Fear is of the mind.
That's a fact.
Yes.
That's probably the best way you can answer that
That's
question,
it.
right?
So danger is real and fear, it's a choice,
Right.
right? But to conquer fear, you need experience. It's like if I have a chainsaw, the first time you see a chainsaw, you're like, yo, you're like, yo, handle the chainsaw, bro. Hand it off to you, like, yo, chill, you know? You're gonna be scared, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But then when you start using the chainsaw, you start learning the chainsaw, you know what I'm saying? The fear goes away. But the danger hasn't changed. It's still just as dangerous as the first day you had it. But now because you have experience, the fear is not there.
Right.
So you can use it more and more effectively, and then you can start becoming more and more creative.
And that's because of the competence, like you were talking about earlier.
You become competent,
Yeah.
right? So, you know, you need experience and you need knowledge, but you also need a reason to gain that experience. It's like if I have if you have a kid and it's a high wire, a high tightrope, and I'm like 70% of people fall off this tightrope to their death, and I'm like, yo, come get this tightrope for a candy bar. You're gonna be like, nah, I'm not gonna risk that level of danger for a candy bar. Mm-hmm. But now if I gotta get to a kid's head, you know, somebody you love or something, you gonna be like, I don't care what the things, I'm gonna try it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you have to always have a good, like a good carrot to dangle, to chase, to face to get the experience and put up with being bad at something long enough to like gain the confidence and the competence, right?
Yeah.
So like for me with film, that was the hardest part because like most young teenagers, but even more so with me because of how I grew up, I hated any form of inadequacy or humiliation. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, I was really against that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because when you have everything stripped away from you, like I did at that age, it's kind of like all you have left is your dignity. You have nothing left. You don't have money. You don't have clothes. You don't have shelter.
Right.
All you have is your dignity. So you protect it beyond all reason, which makes it hard for you to learn anything new because you're not willing to put that dignity at risk.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
So that was the hardest part going in with film. I got into this program called DCTV at downtown. Well, the name of the place is DCTV, Downtown Community Television Center in Chinatown. And I was in the Scared Straight program.
Oh man.
So this is
oh man.
This is a whole
You've been around the block, man.
So I was in the Scared Straight program. Bro.
Oh man.
And then we went on this just trip to this place because they'll take us on trips sometimes. And it was DCTV and there was this firehouse on the Chinatown. And John Alpert and Keiko Suno, you know, they had this interview. I came super early to the interview because I know they was giving out stipends and stuff like that. You know, I was trying to go right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But then I saw the power of filmmaking. They had this program called Pro TV. And it was the first time I applied myself to risk the rejection. And they said, yes, they accepted me. So it's like a big deal for me. So I was with it. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of got my start as a filmmaker there. And I really, I think I was like 15. I really doubled down on it. And I
fell in love with it?
Yeah, because I was always a writer. Like by the time I was like 14, 15, I had written like, I think 9 books on my hand.
Wow.
Like, you know, I used to always read. I had read hundreds of books and stuff too. I was always reading. I used to read like almost 80 books a year.
Oh wow!
At one point, and I would
sound like Cat Williams.
Yo, why was I thinking that same? I was thinking the same shit. Yo.
Yeah, you know. Yeah. But yeah, man, that stuff really like it was a way of escaping reality,
right?
Because the reality was so harsh. You know, at a certain time we was homeless as kids. You know what I mean, in shelters and stuff like that. And the Martinique Hotel, which was the worst shelter in New York, and I came up in the worst shelter in New York. It was worse in prison, way worse in prison. Yeah, it was bad, bro. They used to have like you know, the guards was always trying to rape people.
What?
Yeah. You know, people used to try to break down the doors and like it was crazy, bro. Like I've seen some crazy stuff in my life.
Damn.
This was in New York?
Yeah. It's over there like around Koreatown. You know, when you get out, you know, on 34th and like 5th.
Yeah.
Or 6th, I think 5th and 6th. It's like 35th Street. It's like this big hotel. It's real fancy now.
Mm-hmm.
But back in the days, in the early 90s, it was the worst hotel. And they used to have all these piles of garbage around. And they would throw the garbage out the windows and all. If you're on the bottom floor, they say this is the window. The garbage will be piled up outside your window. So you couldn't open it up because then
Everything's going to go in your That's insane.
Yeah. So that's how we was living, brother. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I seen the real dark side of life. People, and when you're a kid, you can't win.
Right.
So what you do is that you start to learn to be extremely like perceptive of people and their character, and you start to know what they want by how they behave. You know what I mean? So a lot of times when people seem very like observant, insightful, or something like that, that comes from trauma.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like they had to do that to survive. You become extremely observant,
right?
Because when you can't win, you gotta be smarter. You gotta outsmart and outlast.
Yeah.
But you know, with the whole film thing, you know, back to that, pretty much, you know, going there and being accepted in a place like that at that time was incredible for me. And they really did a lot. Then, you know, they sent me to Russia.
What? Russia? How was that?
Yeah, that was the first place I ever been to as a filmmaker.
Yeah.
They sent me to do an exchange program. I actually went to Siberia we went to Moscow and then we went to Siberia. Yeah.
And what year was this?
This was like in 98.
98?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 98. And it was crazy.
Yeah.
It was one of the best trips I ever had, because at that time, before that, I just, you know, I was just all black all the time. Bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I couldn't stand white people, right?
Oh, man.
Like, you know, just to be honest. I always be saying like, there's always be saying like, you know, we got to do something about racism. I was like, yeah, you know, our problem as the people is that we ain't racist enough. We need to be more racist.
Oh,
Everybody's racist, but we need to. That's how to be on that type of time.
Yeah. And now look, they say black people are the most racist people in America now.
You know,
gotta adapt somehow, right?
Maybe I was like Cat Williams. I was predicting the future.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, listen, you low key was predicting the future. But in Russia, when you were working with all of these, I guess it was a lot of white people was working with, right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Getting into like so. You know, I went to Tomsk, which is the biggest city in Siberia, at least back then. They were going through the transition at that time, coming out of so the Soviet era into capitalism. So their money wasn't, you know, great. So it was kind of crazy over there,
right?
And they was building this TV2 station, and we was like a part of all of that. We did a documentary, and what ended up happening was that it was just me and one other person. We was the only two black people in the whole town.
Right.
The whole city, bro. So people were flipping out. We found one dude with an Ice Cube shirt.
Oh.
I was like, yo, he couldn't believe it. He saw real black people.
Wow.
Right? So it was crazy out there because the people there, you know, I was mad racist, right? Well, I originally there. But then I went out there and I met these white people that had nothing to do with America. And they were a completely different type of people.
Damn. So what are you trying to say? We got the bottom of the barrel whites in here. Like the better whites, we need to travel out.
I'm just saying, travel is the key to expanding the minds of young people.
I believe that.
Yeah.
It's better than any sort of form of education you can give them. If you just take them out and you bring them to places where the things you tell them are actually applied.
Right.
Rather than talking to them about it,
right.
Showing them that you got to bring them to places where the stuff you're teaching them is actually applied or is contrary to their worldview. Yeah. So for instance, when I was out there and I was with it, I learned that these people were oppressed.
Right.
A lot of people that they got sent there by like Stalin or, you know, people like that. They were political prisoners sent out there, their families, as punishment. A lot of them.
Right.
And so they knew all about oppression. They were really with it. They was asking me all these questions about like how it is. Like in America, we're not like these people.
Can I ask you a question? Like, do you think that somehow that wanted the Russian people there, like they more inclined to try to share a relationship with you or share something?
Yeah. They were
common
like,
ground?
They weren't scared of me.
Okay.
They were interested in me.
Mm-hmm.
I ate at a bunch of strangers' houses. We didn't even speak the language. They just
Wow.
wanted to eat with a black person. They never
That's
ate with a
crazy,
black person.
man.
I went to their house. I was chilling with people, taking pictures. Like, it was crazy. They showed us mad love, bro.
Yeah.
And then then we did a documentary because they heard there was one other black guy in that city. And it was funny because I started interviewing. I was like, yo, we're going to find him. So it was like searching for Bigfoot.
Oh,
Yo, that's insane.
Because they was like, yeah. I was like, yo, have you seen him? It's like, yes, I've seen him. He comes out that night. I was like, what the I was like, yo, what? What the hell?
bro, they have Batman in them.
Yeah. And then we found him.
Yeah.
We found him. Yeah, we found him, man.
Yo, you guys made history pretty much.
Yeah, he was chilling. He had all these chicks with him. He was chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the man, bro.
What did he say to you? He had an accent. He spoke.
He wasn't feeling it at first. Like he was messing up his racket. Like he was like, damn, man. But then he was cool. But he was an African dude. He was he was like a student that came to university because Russia had a lot of people don't know that Russia's relationship with Africa was completely different than the West's relationship with Africa. So many engineers and stuff like that back in the days, even when it was very racist, Russia was still. I'm not saying Russia's not a racist country, right? But they would basically have a lot of people go there to learn and come back to different parts of Africa and bring that education back over there. So yeah, a lot of students study at the universities in Tomsk and places.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Yeah,
man. That's interesting right there. So that experience in itself expanded your mind in ways that lasted to this day, as far as having an open mind, especially being in the industry. So fast forwarding through all your experiences with film from there, because it was only up from there, right? It was only up because you were continuously learning.
I mean, film is a roller coaster. It's never only up. It's not a lateral line. Everybody who tells you that's a liar.
No, I understand that as far as the film world is concerned, there's always ups and downs. But as far as your experience and the competence that you were talking about earlier,
well, I became more competent with more work. I mean, we also lived with the Zapatista rebels in Chiapas when they had taken over Chiapas. That was the next trip that I went on right after that. So we was living with the rebels because we was almost like human shields.
What?
Because our boss was foul, yo. He used to be like, yo, hey, you want to go to Mexico?
What?
And we were kids, so we like, we want to go.
And low key, y'all in front of the most
and then you find out there, they occupied this whole spot, and basically people were getting kidnapped. But because we're Americans, if we're in that town, they're less likely to kidnap people and then kill them. People own so few stuff because the indigenous people there that when they got killed, you could tell they were dead because they would just find their clothes, and you would know that's his clothes. Yeah, but you would never find the body. So because they had them surrounded, the government with soldiers, but then the government say they sent those soldiers to protect them from the paramilitary guys, but the paramilitary guys that were doing all the terrorist shit were working for the government.
This is in Mexico.
Yeah,
politics overseas is annoying as hell, bro. It's so annoying. Bro. It's grimy as hell, man.
Grimy here too.
Yeah.
Listen, we could get into the
grimy
CIA
everywhere.
We could get into the CIA, what they do all over the world, man. We could get there, but first, this is where I want to get to.
Yeah.
As far as at first, where I want to get to is this: you have been working. Of course, you got ups and downs.
Yeah.
All right. Your biggest accomplishment, or your first biggest accomplishment that you were like, yo, I'm really that dude. I'm really him.
I don't know. I don't really think like that in general.
Okay.
I don't never think that I'm him.
Uh-huh.
I don't.
Something prestigious, maybe.
I think that listen. How many people got an Oscar? Literally tens of thousands of people.
Oh, see?
I mean, when you start thinking about things holistically outside of yourself, you start realizing a lot of things that you really just want to do things that other people have already done most of the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I just want to be included amongst
The greats.
The greats, basically. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so let me answer the question real quick, because for me personally, as an actor, we talked about it yesterday at the film festival. I forgot who we were talking to, but I was saying how my big proud moment where I definitely started tearing up and shit like that was when I was actually brought to Hollywood for the first time. You know, basically going around having my independent film playing in different theaters. That was one of my proudest moments, because up to then I've kept my head down and just been working. You understand what I'm saying? Yep. So when I did see the big Hollywood sign, that like made my heart like, yo, this is it. Like, I'm really doing this and I'm not failing if that makes any sense. That's an accomplishment for me. So that's why I was asking for you personally. What was like a good proud moment that you had?
There's been so many,
you know
over the years. I mean, but the very, very first one, I was too ignorant to even notice it. Yeah. But it was that same documentary. So when I was in Siberia, I did a documentary looking for the black dude. But it also was exploring race relations between Russia, the difference in Russia and America, right? And so I did that movie. It's called African American in Russia. And it got into Sundance. So the first festival I ever got into was Sundance.
Wow.
I didn't know what Sundance was.
I don't even know what Sundance is.
Yeah, it's the biggest American film festival. It's probably like it's the biggest festival in America, but it's possibly arguably the top 2 in the world outside of Cannes. I would probably say Sundance is next. Yeah. But you got Venice and all these other places. Right. But I would still say Sundance is second.
Right. And during that time, it was even more larger.
Yeah, it was kind of like the biggest one in the world, but I had no idea what it was. So when I was there was when Memento came out. Christopher Nolan's first movie.
Oh, I think I remember.
Yeah, so that's when I was there.
Wow.
So it was just kind of like everybody kept talking about, oh, did you see it? It was crazy. But I was just creeped out because there was all these Mormons, and I'll be eating and they'll just be smiling, watching me. It was so friendly. I was getting creeped out because I was from the hood. You know what I'm saying? I was used to like everybody being mean mugged in New York. Yeah, I was creeped out. They were so nice. I was like, yo, they planning to eat me or like what's going on?
Get out, nigga. Get out.
I was shook, bro. I was like, I felt like I was in a horror movie. The people were so nice out there.
Oh man,
so nice.
That's funny, yo. That's funny. Your scariest moment is when motherfuckers are like, nice.
Yeah, man. It's wild, right?
Hard
like
to explain.
you come from trauma, it'd be crazy.
Yeah,
man.
That's hard to explain right there, man. So as far as I like that too. We mentioned earlier that you're also an author, and so I want to get into your book. To be honest,
okay,
is that
cool.
all right?
Yeah.
In the book, The Dark Between the Twilight, right here. We got the book right here too. And you're gonna sign this before you leave too. It's over. So
I guess I'm gonna have to now. The way you said that.
You
got him hostage.
It's over for that. Where was your head at when you wrote the poem "Tomorrow I'll Be 5"? Because my reaction when I first like read that, I had to take a break because it was based on a photo that won the Pulitzer Prize.
The girl in the vulture, I think it's called.
Yeah. And you wrote the poem from that perspective, and we could go into the details, but my reaction to it really hurt me deep. And I started thinking about how the world and where the world is at and how dark it is in certain places of the world where children are literally starving to death and living in what other people would only be able to perceive as hell for real. I really want to know during that time where your head was at.
I mean, the whole book itself, The Dark Between the Twilight, it's part memoir, part horror book, part inspirational book, all put together. I wanted to write something that uses like the general experiences and experiences of my own life to kind of teach people how to be more brave, because I think we only could be our best selves when we're being courageous, right?
Right.
And a lot of that courage comes through vulnerability, the willingness to be vulnerable, to create the possibility, because the things that are the most personal that we hide from the world are actually the things that are most universal. It's also the things that everybody else is also feeling, but nobody is thinking. Mm-hmm. So when you really want to make a connection with others, you have to really expose the shit that you're hiding.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? And then people be like, yo, yeah, that happened to me. Yo, yeah, I was feeling the same thing. Yo, da, 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 da. And that connects you, because I always say, like, the human spirit and the consciousness that we all share, it's kind of like an iceberg. So, like, you out in the Arctic, you see all these different icebergs at the surface of the water.
Yeah.
But when an iceberg is kind of like a pyramid, right? So once you break the surface of the water, you see that it starts to expand out, and they get closer and closer and closer together. And sometimes at the bottom of that, you realize it's just one giant block of ice.
Right.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it's like with our experiences as human beings. And in that book, I was trying to show that emotionally. One of the main things that we forget is that abundance is not guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? Especially like for children. Most of the major victims of poverty are children. And as a child that was like temporarily homeless for a while, I looked at that picture, and it brought back a lot of things about when I was hungry. Not to that degree, but a lot of kids be hungry, man.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of times there's a certain apathy. The worst danger we have of losing our humanity is being apathetic. And I wanted to challenge your apathy with that poem by exposing the realities of suffering that these children be going through out in the world. I mean, you see that a lot now with things that's going on in certain regions of the world.
Right.
A lot of kid victims. You see it all over the world. Kids always suffer the most, man.
Yeah.
And one of the worst things, even for me, was that nobody thinks of. If you're in a place where everybody's hungry, you're not as hungry as when you're in a place where everybody has abundance. They're throwing food in the garbage, but they won't feed you.
Right.
So it's worse to be starving in a major city than it is to be starving in a community where everybody's hungry.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like there's a certain darkness that settles on you. I wanted people to feel that. And when I was writing that, I wanted to convey empathetically the emotions of the child's mindset.
Wow, that's
you're going and you're starving to death.
Wow, that's interesting because, like, we're all from America, right?
Yeah.
And oftentimes, we say, "Yo, I'm starving."
Yeah.
And when you think about it, would you rather be starving in America or would you rather be starving in third world countries? So when you mentioned that, it really made me think, like, I would rather starve while I'm in America because this is you get the most opportunity here, and not everybody around the world has that opportunity, man. So, damn, that shit.
The boundary between you and food over here is more artificial. It's more man-made.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually more insidious over here.
Okay.
Because if you think about it, people are only hungry here because we want them to be hungry.
Damn, that's real.
That's what I would.
It's real foul when you think about it. And it's not that. So I would say the worst thing in the world is not to be a killer, a rapist, or anything like that. The worst thing in the world is to be weak.
Yeah.
Think about how we treat the weak.
Yeah.
Like we treat the weak horrifically. When you see a homeless man, think about how people treat him. He didn't do nothing to nobody. We treat him worse than the neighborhood killer that we know that got like 3 bodies that all look like him in the mirror.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
All his victims look exactly like him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But we still cool with him. Oh, free him. Oh, on our shirts, right?
Right.
Yeah, you're exposing this shit, bro.
But real talk, you know what I'm saying? When we see a guy, because we're all just a few checks away from being that guy.
Absolutely.
And he's a reminder of that. And we don't like to be reminded of our own weakness. So we just want him to go away.
And so we shun him.
Yeah, we just want him to go away.
Damn.
We don't want to be reminded that this thing we celebrate, this system, doesn't work for everybody.
Right.
And it's also a crude reminder that you could be next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, so we shun him. Damn. Wow.
Yeah, man. And so these are the things that I think, like, having these perceptions, it expands our capacity for compassion, like courageous compassion. You know what I'm saying? And I think you only could be your best self, like I'm saying, when you're being brave. But to be brave, you got to be willing to open your eyes.
Wow. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But, you got to be able to open your eyes and you got to connect your heart with your head. A lot of times people live just from one to the other, but it's kind of like if the heart is let's say the heart is an engine, and the mind is the frame, right, of the car, right? Basically, you have a dope frame, but if you got a small engine, it's gonna look good, but it's not gonna go too far.
Mm.
But if you have a big engine and a weak frame, it'll fall apart, right? So you want to kind of have them match, and you want a dope frame and a strong engine to really get you far. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So a lot of times it's good to be fully human in your experiences.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For better or worse. Feel all the emotions. Don't run from nothing. You're not here to be happy. You're here to be human. You're here to feel everything.
Experience it all.
Yeah, just and love it all. Sadness, grief.
I mean, because that's
pain, all of it.
That's how you measure life, though, when you think about it, man. Because imagine someone who really haven't experienced life. Did you have you lived? You know what I mean? Like true living is experience, and like you said, all the emotions, love, heartache,
and adversity,
betrayal.
I mean, the worst type of men in the world, the men who haven't suffered, if you really think about it.
Yeah.
Right.
I've seen people who, you know, cause like I be around the block, man. I'm from the hood, but I put myself outside of that a lot.
Yeah.
So, you know, oftentimes I see those guys who've never been in a situation where they've seen someone hurt, they've seen someone shot, and they cling on to it. They just can't wait to see it. It's like, cause you haven't really
understand the course of violence.
you really haven't lived it. You don't really know that pain. So from that perspective, it's cool, but really it's painful.
There's nothing cool about it.
No, it's not.
Only the people the people who really want to go to war are just psychopaths and people who haven't been to war before.
That's it.
Right.
Those are the only people.
That's the only
else
two.
Come home, they don't want to go back.
Nope. Cause it's real. Life is real, and people experience way many different things than others, man.
And life is coming for all of us. None of us make it out of this alive, right?
Right.
You know, and the longer you live, the more you're gonna have to watch everything you love change or die.
Right.
That's the reward for eating healthy. You're trying to get fit, eating healthy. You're gonna watch everybody you love die today.
That's funny as shit. That kind of reminds me of you guys are familiar with The Boys, right?
Yeah.
You guys remember when Soulja Boy was walking the streets? Mind you, he's from a different time.
1940s or something, right?
Yeah, so he's watching two guys, black, white together. The men are carrying the children. He's like, whoa, what the did I miss? You know what I mean? Like,
what is going on here? That was hilarious. Yeah.
But it's crazy. I mean, it's just, like I said, it's good to look at everything. I think as writers and storytellers, we allow people to live in their illusions. We get to suffer on their behalf.
Yeah.
We get to suffer reality on their behalf, and then we package it, we filter it through our experiences, and then we give them back to it in a way that they can digest it for a while. Because we spend most of our lives trying to run away from reality. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Right. But as artists, we have to love reality. You know what I'm saying? And then we have to use illusions. We have to use lies to tell the truth.
Right.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Romanticize. You have to romanticize.
Yeah. We have to dress it up. You know what I'm saying?
You have to make it look good. As far as writing, as far as poetry, scripts, screenplays, I don't think you've done theater. Have you done theater?
Yeah, I should do a show called Prayers for the Ghetto.
Oh,
but it wasn't me directing. I was like stage manager, and I did a lot of the casting. I casted probably over 1,000 actors.
Oof.
Like going through them and casting calls and stuff like that. It was at the 44th Street Theater with Michael Horn's theater, the disgraced Michael Horn.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? So I used to do stuff over there with Clifton King, who was a great theater director. And basically it was about the Black and Jewish experiences in the ghetto, how they overlapped through the crack era in the hood and the Jew and the ghettos in Germany during the Nazi era. And pretty much the guy was a black rabbi.
Right.
Clifton, so the director and writer. So he knew both sides of the experience as a black Jew. And basically, it was interesting. It was interesting.
Hey, Jamal, I got a question for you, man. In the poem Dreams of Worms, you explore the idea that both humans and animals have a tendency to create illusions about themselves and their place in the world itself. Now, the man imagines himself as a king, the worm imagines himself as a god, but in reality, they are still a worm and a human that are subject to the same limitations and vulnerabilities as all living beings. Now, my question for you is, the poem relates to the idea of perception versus reality. Are we truly in control, or is it just an illusion?
Well, I mean, the point I was trying to make is that not necessarily like it's either or.
Mhm.
Because I think that we get stuck in binary thinking,
Okay.
and that comes from the Christian tradition where you just have good or evil, and that's it.
Black
Everything's
and white.
black
Okay.
and white.
Mhm.
Black and white. You know what I mean? If you're not good, you're bad. If you're bad, you're not good.
Okay.
Right? But so I was making the argument that as human beings, we are gods and worms simultaneously.
Wow.
Like, because we are in the image and likeness of God, we constantly are meaning making machines. So we create our own reality,
Mm-hmm.
and we can bring others into our reality and expand it, right? We could see a bunch of land and give it a name and a flag and they call it America, and it's real to us, but in objective reality, it doesn't exist.
Wow.
Right? And we do that with everything. This is why storytelling is so powerful, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because storytelling is basically the way of creating realities.
Right.
When I look at that thing in the sky and I say, that's the sky and that's the sun, I'm giving it an identity. I'm shrinking it down by naming it into something I can hold in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we don't really truly know what that thing is fully. We don't even know the full thing to what we are.
Right.
Right?
Because we constantly fight over it all the time.
Yeah. And, but it's also like, you're not just your name.
Right.
You're not just your body.
There's many more layers.
You're not just your mind.
Yeah.
So what are you? There's
I'm
really
all
no
of it.
name for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, it's endless,
Mhm.
right? But that'd be crazy to look at everything as being endless around you. It'll be overload. So we name things so we can feel like we know them and we can hold them in our minds and our hands and our hearts, right? So to make it make sense.
Yeah.
Feel like the world makes sense.
Wow.
Right? So in that poem, what I was doing was that I was trying to show people or just experiment, because I don't have the answers. I just got questions. So I just want to present you with the question, right? Like, so like, if we're gods and worms, we forget that we're either. And a lot of times we think of ourselves either as just a worm or just a god, but we're always trying to become a god, where in the end, we all become worm food, we become less than maggots.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Do you think, because there's a lot of theories out there as far as like the universe.
Yeah.
One of the theories that I've heard is the universe is experiencing itself through other humans and other entities.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that was a way for the universe to basically learn itself to create all these different entities, or is it kind of like that?
I be saying like, yo, you know what? I'm like, universe is a freak, yo.
All right, let's type in.
You know, because yo, you making yourself so you could touch yourself. You kissing on yourself.
That's the
you
ultimate
killing
form of
yourself.
experience. Yeah.
You birthing yourself.
But you're also loving yourself too.
You loving yourself. You hating yourself.
Yeah. It's chaotic, but at the same time, it's like a.
You saying, you like, yo, look at that ass, and it's your ass.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's bugged out when you think about it, because it's like if we're all, because the one thing is that, you know, it comes from there's a tradition about the different laws, the Hermetic principles, about the different laws of reality and how they work. And the first law is that all is mind. So everything has mind. That's a fundamental truth of all reality. Everything has mind or consciousness of some form.
Okay.
You might not be able to perceive that consciousness, but all things are mind. And
wow.
and fundamentally, if that's the case, then all things have to be a portion of a universal mind, a singular mind,
right?
Whatever you want to call that. So in a way, yes, you can argue, or it could be argued, that we are just nodes in the experience of the universe experiences itself.
Right.
You know, and from different perspectives, from different realities.
To me, I think that's the ultimate. That's well, obviously, clearly, I'm just a human, but that sounds like the best way to really know or experience.
You're a fragment of, by that logic of what you suggested, you would be a fragment of the universal mind in a U suit.
Okay.
But it's temporary experience that you're gonna, when you die, you just reconnect to just being everything.
Okay.
The main consciousness.
Okay.
So it's kind of like there is no death, because it's kind of like everybody's just finger puppets to the same hand.
Right.
How the fuck do you think? I'm not gonna lie, yo. There's sometimes I'm like, yo, I'm smart, and then you meet someone who's actually smart and deep, and you're like, damn, this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like your experiences, everything that you've experienced in life, I know it has a lot to do with how much of an incredible writer you are, man.
Right.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
Now, of course.
100%.
But I think the best teacher, I mean, you know, smart is subjective. Everybody, if they smart in one way, they equally stupid in another way.
I believe that.
You know what I'm saying? It's a sacrifice. It's kind of like the law of polarity, right? So it's kind of like whatever it's kind of like
she looked good, but she got a flat ass.
No, it's worse than that.
Yeah.
It's even worse than that, because it's kind of like, you know, once you have a woman, like, you know, then if you're a faithful dude, you know, I'm putting it out there, we in New Jersey, then you have like other all other women are no longer available to you.
Yeah.
Right? And all of the men are no longer available to her. So you're giving something up equally as good, other possibilities for what you have.
Yeah.
The job you have, other people wanted that job. But because you have that job, other people can't have that job. The house you have, other people wanted that house. But because you have that house, other people can't have that house. And if you might love a house and you can buy it, but somebody might already occupy it. So now you can't have that house. So there's always a cost to every good that's equally as good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Or equally as bad. Yeah, I definitely get it.
So anything that you achieve, like, so saying somebody is smart, it's like, at what cost? It's kind of like everybody be like, yo, I want that Elon Musk. I want that Elon Musk money. But do you want to have a brain that never shuts off?
Right. Everybody wants to be black, but do you want to go through what all the black people go through in this world?
No, they don't. They want to everybody just wants to experience black culture and that black fun.
All the good.
Yeah.
They don't want to take the good with the bad.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's the same as success too. People they see the lights, they see the fame, they see whatever accomplishment somebody have, but they don't know what it took to actually get there and the sacrifices that person had to do.
Right.
And I don't think being smart is really just about knowledge. It's more about the ultimate form of intelligence is if you can get out of life what you want.
Right.
That's actually the ultimate gauge of intelligence. Can you get from life what you want?
Okay.
Basically, you know?
No.
That sounds like, so would you say Diddy is like an intelligent? Cause this guy, he's gotten everything that he possibly wanted in this lifetime.
But he's not only smart, but he's ruthless.
Okay.
And he's preying on a community's weaknesses. So sometimes, you know, you can be predatory. I like to say certain industries, people show up wanting to be prey. They want to get eaten. Film industry is one of those industries. I'm not trying to blame the victims, but I'm just saying some people show up looking to get eaten because they think that's their way forward.
Okay.
People are open when you have no morality and you're willing to do. People are like, I'll do anything for my dream. I'd be like, no, I wouldn't do anything for my dream.
Word.
There's certain lines I won't cross for nothing.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? But if you have that mentality, oh, yo, you know, I'll do anything.
That's what. Oh yeah, we can use you.
You're a victim.
Yeah, we can use you.
Yeah.
Oh, I got somewhere to put you. Come here.
But push come to shove, you ain't gonna say no.
Right.
As far as when it comes to any types of geniuses like Elon Musk and other ones around the world, like you were saying, there is a sacrifice that is made. Like there is a hole in your soul to want to reach certain levels. And a lot of people who do have a lot of success, they do have these, like, people will see, yo, why, like, this person is going through this person, like, all the greatest people, and especially in the black community.
Yeah.
Like you see them reach these heights, and then they have this large negative shadow that follows behind them, and it shocks people. Be like, yo, how can this person do this or be involved with this and with the success they have? I don't know your thoughts on that.
I mean, the only thought I got is, I'll be on my Black Yoda shit. I always got to ask a question. I can't answer this question straight.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I always got to tell a story.
Of course.
Gather around. But I would say it's kind of like, if you think about it, when it comes to why they always got that dark shadow following them, as you say, it's because when you're great, God loves you, but the devil loves you too. You know, as they say?
Yeah.
Because greatness is just greatness. It's just a way of being. Whether you use it for good or evil is up to you. But, think about it, right? The sun it's the sun that creates shadows, right? Right?
This nigga a genius.
You know what I'm saying? So the larger the brighter you are, the larger the shadow you cast.
Wow.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing about, you got to be careful with wanting to be great, because being great is to cast a wide shadow, brother. Right. So you got to have the courage and the strength for greatness, but greatness breaks the best of men. You know what I'm saying? So we believe we have this problem or this fear of being average.
Right.
Especially in the black community, I feel like, even though for the most part, most people are average, that's why it's called average.
Right.
Yeah.
Average just means most people. Right. It doesn't mean less than. It just means
common,
right?
Yeah.
But people think it's like some sort of bad word these days, and they can't be happy with themselves if they're average. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? There's average things about all of us. Right. There's exceptional things about all of us. Right. It's that one thing that you're exceptional at define the entirety of who you are. Right. I might be exceptional at basketball, but I beat my wife. I'm a dirtbag at home. I'm less than average in character at home in my personal life and stuff like that. So sometimes you can't judge the person and emulate and raise the person on a pedestal because they're great at one thing. And especially in our community, we have like this crazy obsession with financial success. So, like, nobody matters if they're not financially successful. Right. And it's kind of like a lot of people who are financially successful, that's all they're good at. And it shines bright, and they cast the darkest shadows. Right. And I think that's what you see with a lot of this stuff. With somebody that all they care about success. They don't care about people. They don't care about the people they're coming up with. They don't care to make other people rich with them. Mm-hmm. And then people like that always have a Titanic downfall. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because life is like a beach, right? We're all like waves crashing against the shore. If Alan builds you up, you might be the next wave coming in. When my wave crashes against the beach and it starts to dissipate, your wave will come over and they'll push my wave forward. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? If I help to build you up. You know what I'm saying? Right. But a lot of times we think that we a tidal wave. And we just smash everything, and then there's no waves following. It's just silence. Yeah. And the water just dissipates, dries out. You know what I'm saying?
It eases out. Yep. That makes perfect sense. And it's crazy. The movie I was thinking about, I'm a movie buff, I'm not going to lie. There's movies I think about all the time. Yeah. But the movie I thought about when you said that was Click, in the Adam Sandler movie. I don't know if you remember, but basically he was capable of fast forwarding times that he found like boring or he didn't want to do. Like,
I told the movie about Adam Sandler finding the G spot for the first time. Rubbing that shit. I was like, yo, what type of freaky movie you
Nah, but basically he had a remote, he could fast forward times in his life. Yeah. But but the thing is, it customized itself where he fast forward years of his life where he found out he was an asshole to his family when he was working too hard. And his father died and he didn't go to the funeral. And then finally, the last time his father saw him before he died, he was just cold and heartless to me. Like, I gotta fucking work, get the fuck out of my face. And he was like, yo, I really did this? This is crazy. And a lot of times I feel like that's what happens in life.
Yeah, we can't see ourselves.
Yeah. So I'm bringing in.
I've had that problem a lot in my life.
Yeah, really.
Because I grew up in a very harsh environment where everybody was harsh. You know, my mom's was harsh too for a time. Everybody was harsh. So that's just how we spoke to each other. We were just super blunt. But and sometimes when you have there's a difference between self-esteem, you know, confidence and self-esteem, right? Like feeling worthiness. So a lot of times, you know, when you grow up that way, you don't feel worthy. So you don't feel like you matter, really. You can have a lot of confidence, but deep down you don't feel like you matter. So that's what I was dealing with a lot. And sometimes when you feel like that, you don't feel like you matter to others. Right. So you don't understand the power of your words. You know what I'm trying to say? And or your power of your actions, or your power of your presence, and how necessary you are to other people's lives. So you won't show up for them, or you might say something to them. Anybody else could say it, it won't matter, but because you're saying it, it's like a dagger to the heart to these people, and you might not even realize it. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I think it's really important to not only watch your words, know when to be silent, and also know when and try to be present as much as you can.
That's what I was thinking. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's what I would say to that.
Yeah. I mean, I totally agree with that, man. When it comes to all of that, right? When it comes to real life situations, we see that on TV, on film, and all of that stuff. But when we have the people in front of us, we're supposed to be like, yo, look, I'm here for you.
That's right.
And like you said before, and the words from somebody that you respect and love, admire, is more powerful than some stranger across the street. Sure. Or on the bus, like, yo, you don't even, but if somebody next to you is like, yo, who you care about is like saying, I need you here, or you made me angry when you did this.
Or sometimes you ain't shit. Now, you whack at that, bro. I don't think you, man. Then the people gonna be like, damn, man, I thought he really believed it. But he might be feeling like he's just playing around, or you need motivation or whatever. Right. But you might take it a certain type of way. And that's what I'm saying. When all of us are somebody in somebody else's life, right? But it's important to be aware of that, in as you go through life, to understand how much you might matter to other people.
Right, right. You know? Show love also, regardless of this. Like, show love, because you actually never know, man. What's been going on recently? A big example of this, right? Of course, the Diddy documentary dropped, right?
Oh no.
And apparently in the documentary, we don't got to go into details about it, but basically there's a lot of people who claim to have been close to him.
Real close.
Really close. Like,
did he do it? Did he rob him? Did he grab him?
Like, exactly. Did he did it?
Diddy did it.
You know what I'm saying? So he had brothers. He had people who worked very close with him, who were like, they're like dropping down into tears and saying like how he did them dirty. Did you hear? What was your thoughts on that? Like, as far as it, you probably didn't watch it. You probably not finished watching it.
I seen the first episode and that's half of the second episode. But this is what I would say, and this is going to be boring and not as controversial as people want. But I'm not a big fan of tearing down other black people, right? As a black person, even though I know he was a menace, right? You know what I'm saying? On a certain level, me personally, I'm not into that. I think there's too much of that going on in the community. Like, even with me, most of the people that come after me were people that look like me. You know what I'm saying? Right, and I think that's too, it's almost like acceptable in our culture. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know what I mean? Like, even if there's just a rumor, because, you got people like Harvey Weinstein, and I have yet to see like a Jewish community make a documentary on him, like, right. You know what I'm trying to say? Right. That's why I'm saying, first of all, but to each his own. I'm not against it. I'm not for it. I would just say, like, we knew dude was a menace. Nothing. The documentary is really well made. You know what I'm saying? 50's on. His production, his team, they tight with it. Right. I would just say that, like, honestly, like, a lot of it we already knew. We just didn't have it all consolidated in context. You know what I mean? One place. Right. So I think it's well made. I think dude was a menace, but we all knew that from jump. We knew that in the 90s he was still buying the music.
Right.
We try to act like we're not complicit in this stuff. Like when these brothers fall and stuff like that, because they've been taking out every single black icon. I feel like right. I don't know, the CIA's behind this shit.
And it's so crazy, so much so like it makes you question, like, yo, are these people actually doing all this fucked up shit? And it's, I don't know.
But to me, it's a deeper question.
What's the deeper question?
And this I was talking about it with my brother the other day, and I was like, what? That's not the right question. Why people think like, oh, they just take it down. The real question you got to think of, was this the plan from the get-go when they was giving these people access? Were they only accepting the worst of us, the grimy of us?
Wow.
To set up a cascade 20 years from now to demoralize the community. I
think somewhere in the Bible they say, like, mind you, don't quote me, blunt tears. They said something about the stars will fall. Like, I feel like this is the time.
It's like you have to set up. So it's like this thing, right? The sheep, right? The sheep are taught their whole life to fear the wolf, just to be slaughtered by the shepherd.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So sometimes you got to fatten things up before you kill it, before you slaughter it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
That's.
And I feel like that's what's been going on low key with the culture of the community, and why they hijacked the hip hop culture in the beginning to begin with, for this big moment to slaughter the. I'm not saying that these people didn't do what they did,
right,
and that there shouldn't be consequences. What I'm saying is that why did they select these people to become successful? Because to become successful, the people who are already successful have to want you to be a part of their club. This is the thing, that it don't matter about your talent or your hustle. The people that are successful have to want you to be successful. They have to want you to be a part of their club. So why did they pick these people for?
Right.
Yeah.
It's just something to think about.
Yeah, I think it's soulless. I think it's soulless. I think that it was based money driven.
Because I know so many great black men in the community that all they did was work hard for their family, take care of their woman.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody's flawed, but we know so many people of character in the community who
that are winners.
That are winners, that have come. Why these people? Right. Why the person who's gonna exploit, molest, rape, got shot up?
Yeah.
Did a bunch of time.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about it.
Yeah. This kind of makes me think about that conversation that we had when I said something about people being smart and they're able to chase the success, but you said something about how most people who want to be the best, you have to understand their thought process. And this is what you said. You got to understand why they want to be the best. And you said most of those people have this black hole, and all they're trying to do is fill that void. Yeah. And do you think that it's possible that they understand people who chase true success, like they want to dominate something internally, may be wrong, and it's like, yeah, we can identify that you're one of the ones, and if you can be one of the corrupted ones, you're someone we can use.
Yeah. I mean the only way you can so I don't think anything's just one thing. I think a lot of times the same traits that make somebody good makes them bad.
Yeah.
There's also a shadow side, like the shadow, like we were talking about, side to all things. And a part of that, of being a good person, is to be aware of your shadow.
Yeah.
Right.
Not to act like it's not there.
Yeah.
Because I do think that a lot of people, they just trying to feed their families, be successful. They just want to be loved.
Right.
Like, they're probably neglected as kids or not treated properly. And so now they want the world to love them. You know what I'm saying? Right. So they're looking at everything externally. I need this external, but the internal work is not being done.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the reason why people don't do the internal work is because a lot of times people can't see the internal.
Right.
And you want the people outside you to see you how you wish to be seen to yourself.
And on top of that, I think it takes more of a struggle to really fight those inner demons. You got to really look at yourself in the mirror and be like,
yeah.
Just because I acquired all of the success, I still have this darkness, and that's the darkness sometimes people are afraid to face. It's their true selves. And I mean, I agree with you, man.
Yeah. A lot of times it's not good versus evil. It's just evil versus evil.
Right. Perspective versus perspective.
Yeah. Or perspective versus perspective.
Yeah.
Or sometimes good versus good.
Right.
Sometimes, people have beef, and that's why I try to stay out of it, because I don't know all the information.
Right.
I don't know how other people have experienced this person.
Right. That's like
conflict.
It's like, is the lion evil because he chooses to hunt his prey?
No.
You know what I mean? So
actually, it's harder to be a predator than it is to be a thing in terms like lions only have I think a less than a 30% success hunting rate. So most of the time when they're hunting, they fail.
And they're hungry.
Yeah, the animal that has the highest is the dragonfly. That's like
crazy.
90 something. And it's crazy because the way it actually hunts is that it lays there and it will watch its prey, and its brain does this weird calculation where it knows the pattern of it, and then once it downloads it,
I know where you're going to be.
And it attacks where it's going to end up.
Whoa. That's like a supercomputer in itself.
Yeah, once it gets your patterns, they can predict exactly how you're going to move.
That's crazy.
And then they attack that space and they grab.
Wow!
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Wow.
So that makes you think like, wow, the things that humans can do and the things that other animals.
That's what
can do.
Diddy was doing.
Diddy doing?
That's what Diddy was doing. Oh my God,
Diddy was doing a lot, man. Yo, I actually had a question for you, man.
Yeah, bro.
I forgot this guy's name. His name is Kirk something. He said in the Sean Combs documentary. He said something kind of profound that I thought it was. He said, I know people are shaped by pain as well as by love. If there's more pain than love, watch out. Now, I had a question for you. Can you share a personal experience or story that may have caused you great pain or great love that influenced any particular poem or section of the book that we spoke on today?
My whole book is about pain and love and experiences.
Yeah.
So it's all in the book.
It's all in the book. You heard that, Blunt Tears?
Dark Between the Twilight.
Mm-hmm. The Dark Between the Twilight.
$15.99 on Amazon.
Hey, and don't be afraid to tap in. Yo, I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of gems in here, and you know what I mean. You got your work cut out for you, yo.
Also, I saw you brought Everything Endless. You want to talk a little bit about Everything Endless?
Everything Endless is with me and great grandmaster Linda D. Addison, who's like our modern Octavia Butler, I would say. But she's been a mentor to me for many years, and I wanted to create a collaboration based around her strengths and something she's never done before to make it exciting.
Right.
So we created a book of dwarf poems about the entirety of the universe, and you go on this journey from the Big Bang. It begins with the Big Bang and it ends with you.
Right.
So that's the journey of that book that we've done together. We sent it out for NAACP award, for Pulitzer. We trying to go for the Bram Stokers. We're on the recommendation list of all these different places.
That's impressive. That's impressive, right?
And basically, like, it's an honor to work with her. I mean, she's won like 6, I think, Bram Stoker Awards, Lifetime Achievement.
Wow.
She's immortalized in the libraries of Arizona and all of that stuff forever. She's really like a force. And being able to work with that was one of the great joys of my experiences as an artist.
Right.
It's amazing to work with people, because she was like the first black person to ever win in its 50-year history.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, she on many levels. She's also a grandmaster in the Science Fiction Association, as with people like Ray Bradbury and all these different people like that.
Right.
So like a lot of times when I was growing up, I thought I was the only weirdo black kid writing this type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cherie Renee Thomas had this amazing book called Dark Matter. And I just saw all these great names, man. Mm-hmm. I discovered Linda Octavia Butler, who's my favorite author, all in those pages. And I knew I wasn't alone. Mm-hmm. And then I was at the thing, and I met Linda in real life, and we just connected. You know what I'm saying? And then that was over 10 years ago, I believe. So, yeah, you know, there's that. And with these books, we're trying to do something very different. The other one, The Dark Between the Twilight, you know, some of the experiences I've had, I mean, damn, I've had a lot of terrible experiences in my life. I mean, people say, you know, like the guy was saying, is it love or pain? But I don't really agree with that. I think it's not that I disagree. I'm saying I think a lot of times it's more about meaning. Like, did the pain have meaning or not? Mm. So the pain really distorts people and twists them, the pain you go through, when you haven't given it a meaning. When it seems meaningless, that's when you become a monster.
Right.
Right? Because now you want the rest of the world to feel what you felt.
Okay.
You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Right. But the way you so in that book, I'll try to talk about how you transmutate pain. Mm. So because pain, actually, if you can transmutate it, it's the best men in the world. Like,
I remember this conversation we had earlier too. We spoke about that.
Yeah. So it's kind of like with men, I would say a man who hasn't suffered is the worst type of man.
Right.
So but a man who's faced adversity and overcome that adversity and turned it into power or for himself and others, that man is the best type of man. That man is capable of compassion, kindness, courage. You know what I'm saying? He's able to teach, relay. You know what I'm saying? Some of the most peaceful men you would meet will be men that suffered greatly. When you saw you in the past, you'd be like, yo, damn, what the hell?
Right.
And you'd be mad chilled. You'd be like, yo, what the hell?
Like, you've been through all that and still hasn't broken you?
Yeah. So it did break him. But that's the thing. Only when you're broken, you find out who you really are. And when you put the pieces back together, that's where you take on your final form. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But like it's kind of like with that whole thing with the pain thing. One of the ways you can do to transmutate it, in my opinion, and I'm just my opinion. I'm one guy, but like I would say, is when you make your pain, you turn it into service for others. You could give your pain any meaning you want to. That's the thing about it. Right. But you have to give it a meaning so that it becomes useful to the world. Right. Once your pain becomes useful to the world, it no longer defines you. It becomes a gift.
Okay.
Right. That's a fact. That's a bomb right there.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So when people say, hey, you know, he didn't have love, or it's just, no, he never transmuted his pain. He became pain.
Okay.
And that's what happens when you become pain, because your pain has no meaning, and it torments you all the time, then you think the world is just pain. So it becomes okay to hurt people because everybody else is hurting.
Right.
It's like if I'm in hell and we all burning already, why does it matter if I step on your nuts?
Right.
It don't matter. We all burning anyway.
Right.
Lord have mercy.
You know what I'm saying?
I completely understand what you're saying. Pain is something that you can use as fuel. I usually say with the rage thing, as far as it's like jet fuel. You can use it to go to different places around the world, or you could burn something down to the ground. You know? So I completely understand what you're saying with that. I want to move to a more lighter note. Can we do that real quick?
I'll try. Not really my personality.
No. As far as when it comes to film and the industry, as far as, you know, you've been to a lot of different sets. You've met a lot of different people, actors and actresses, etc.
I've been on a few. I don't know if it's a lot.
You're being humble. You've done, like, you literally have been doing it since 15.
Off and on. I left for a while to help my community for over 12 years.
What were you doing with that?
I was just I was doing a lot of docs, but I was mainly doing programming, like doing programs for young men and women.
Working with the children.
Yeah. Like we used to do a lot of stuff with Tammy Sams and her programs. I used to work for her, different places. Aisha Norris. I used to work with them. In Gun Hill Road, we had a program out there called Dream, Truce, Pro TV, all these different programs. I would work in, I try to help young people, man. I was all about, trying to create meaning. I didn't understand what I was doing at the time.
Yeah.
I was trying to find the meaning in my pain to make it useful in other people. We're going through worse or something similar. And by healing them, I healed myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is why in AA and stuff like that, they make you do all these group sessions. People heal faster in groups. So you heal by sharing in groups than individually trying to deal with it on your own. But if you're the person who's using your pain to help others in a similar type of pain, then you redeem your hurts. You start to feel like, yo, I had to go through that so that this person can have a better life.
So you put pain, you put a meaning to that pain.
Yeah, you create the meaning through service. That's the secret to not becoming a monster.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Serving others because you get a lot of joy from that.
Surface.
Yeah.
It's not. It doesn't matter if you get joy or not. You get meaning from it.
Right.
Purpose is more important than joy. Joy is just an emotion. It comes in
Fleeting.
roles like hate, anger, jealousy. Any emotion is. You can't live in an emotion.
Right.
Emotion can never be a goal.
Right.
Your purpose has to be your goal.
Meaning and purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense. We talked about a lot of things today, man. Before we head out, there's a few things that we want to ask you.
Never hit me with the silly shit now.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got to. We got to hit you with the silly, goofy shit, bro. Listen, it's a
I
part
can
of
tell
the
by
thing.
how serious and professional you sounding right now. Right? Jamal, we're about to wrap up.
Yeah.
This has got to go on. First of all sponsors go to. I mean, no, we was at the Horror Film Festival. This weekend. Right. Shout out to them. Shout out to.
I ain't gonna lie.
I don't know if you want to talk about
Jamal. I kind of felt some type of way, man. No plus twos.
That's your boy. Right?
That's all right. Look, so I know who to send the beef to.
There it is. I'll take the beef. I'll take it. You want to talk a little bit about what was going on this weekend? You had a big weekend.
Oh, this weekend was cool. They had us come out to do like a quick draw kind of podcast. I was like the first alumni that they highlighted on their page. I've known them for a long time, over 10 years. Right. With the festival. They're the first people I got a screenplay award from.
Whoa.
Yeah. And it was cool. I ran into the host of a show that I'm directing called Madness and Writers, where we're interviewing all these different the top writers in horror. You know what I'm saying? It's created by Velva and David, and just a bunch of cool stuff. I ran into a bunch of people that I've missed that I haven't seen since before the pandemic. Right. The New York City Horror Film Festival is the premier festival of horror in New York City, probably in the East Coast.
Biggest one. Yeah.
So it's always great to see them and what they've created there and to be a part of that.
Right. And I had the honor to be there, and it was just a lot of great actors, actresses, directors, people from all forms of film, and they're really just getting together and showing support for each other was real dope. We're gonna post those pictures online. That was fire. Yeah. My question to you is, what's the best horror film of all time? Gun to your head. Oh no,
I don't want to say it because it's going to be the worst choice ever to people. It's three of them to me, but the one that came to my head first, because it's the one it's the most traumatic movie I've ever seen. It's the best movie you should never watch.
Okay.
It's called Martyrs.
Martyrs. Okay. And what was that about?
The original version. God, it's about.
Damn.
Oh my God. So this is your life before you see Martyrs and your life after you see it.
What do you mean?
So if you watch that movie, you won't be the same person that you are before you watch that movie.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Lord have mercy. I'm scared of that now.
That movie is incredible.
Okay.
All dramatic. Right. It's like watching that movie is like going through like being in Guantanamo Bay for a year.
Damn.
And then you out. There was you before Guantanamo Bay, and then it's you after Guantanamo. You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. So it's a traumatic movie.
It's a traumatic experience.
Okay.
It's amazingly well made.
Okay.
On every level. So that's one of my best. The original Chainsaw Massacre, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
I love that.
Uh-huh.
Love the animal when Leatherface be spinning with the chains, dance with that shit, motherfucker. I love that shit, bro. That shit be getting me hyped.
Yeah.
He's mad they got away in the truck. Yeah. And Shorty's watching, laughing. He got an audience. He's swinging the chainsaw. I was like, yo, this is beautiful, man. They shot that magic out with the sunset.
Shit.
Man, spinning with the chainsaw.
Man.
Oh, man. Then the last one's weird. So there was this movie that came out, I think it was in the late 90s, man. It's called Tales from the Hood, bro.
Oh my god!
I love that movie.
Wait, which one is that? The leopard? That's
not the Leprechaun.
Tales from the
Tales from the Hood.
Tales from the.
Welcome to hell.
No,
motherfucker.
You're in hell. He started sweating.
He started sweating and shit. This ain't the Terror Dome neither.
Bro was moving like MC Hammer talking to you.
Yeah.
Who died? I know
with the racist dude. I think you used to call him little Nicholas.
Oh yeah.
The little dolls.
Oh my gosh!
And then and then the third. It's an anthology film. The third one they was talking about how like one of the things that I'm always worried about is like most of these brothers who are gangbanging and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He met the Ku Klux Klan guy and he was like, "Yo, we're the same. I got no problems with you, brother.
Mm-hmm.
We're the same."
That was crazy.
That was crazy. That part. That really changed my mind.
Is that because I've seen it it's kind of giving me I'm thinking about this movie where they both like next to each other in the cells like this one he kills his brothers.
Yeah.
So what's the name of that movie?
That was Tales from the Hood.
Yeah.
That was the last one they had in there.
I remember the first time just watching that clip. That changed my entire view on things, yo.
Me too, man.
I sat there and bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, coming from a perspective of the hood, right?
Yep.
We're often taught to look out for one another. The person that when you go like, and I'm not saying I was participating in this part of the hood, but
of course not.
Of course not. There's guys that go on with what they call drills, and the people that they're looking for the scary part about it is you're looking for someone
looks like you,
that looks just like you.
Yeah,
and when you hear a white guy, not even just a regular white guy, a KKK member, and he's like, I like you.
That's crazy.
You do what we do, but better.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
And then you think it's like, whoa.
It makes you think about it, man.
I'm KKK personified.
Yeah.
I just don't have the thing is like I just don't have the cloak. I'm not hiding behind the cloak. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And for a young guy like, when I was just watching, I'm like, yo, I'm just as worse, like looking for people or whatever the case is, whoever, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know, man, that shit is just so profound when you just put yourself in them shoes, man.
It's true.
Right.
It's true, man.
No, it's the truth, man. Best actor of all time, best writer of all time.
It's a tie for the best actors of all time. Mm-hmm. It's
I know you
Denzel and Daniel Day-Lewis.
I got Denzel up there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Jamie Foxx is one of them for me. He's up there for me too. One of the
most talented.
He's one of the most talented. You know what movie oh my God, I just fell in love with the character was Django, man. That's one of my favorite.
Django's incredible.
Yeah.
Django, that storyline.
That's probably Tarantino's best film overall.
That shit was phenomenal.
That's a strong thing to say. It's hard to do, but I wouldn't argue
and Glorious Bastards is really
top there.
Top tier.
So would you say he's also best writer?
Who?
Quentin.
Fuck no.
Okay. Who would you say? You said.
It's a lot of Mammoth.
Mm-hmm.
David Mammoth. I think he's probably the best.
Okay.
One of the best. It's too many to say best writer. There's too many to say best writer. There's too many to say best director. It's a bunch of credible directors. I'd have to name like 20 of them.
I completely understand. I mean, you probably you
although the dude who did Frankenstein, Del Toro, Guillermo. I'm sorry, I'm butchering your name. He just did Frankenstein. He did this movie called Pan's Labyrinth. I think it's one of the best movies ever made.
I've seen that. I know about that.
That movie's crazy.
It's crazy right there.
Yeah, that movie's bugged out.
Yeah. Last couple questions. Do you believe like there's a higher species that's watching us on TV? Like, yo, these niggas is crazy. These humans is wild.
Yeah, they call cats.
Cats.
On the next episode of
Niggas be looking at
Hood
like,
Earth,
dumbass. They be like
yeah.
and they slap you time to time. You know what I mean? Like, dumbass.
Like randomly too. Like, yo, all right. This is the last.
No, but in terms of the serious answer to your question,
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
If everything is all things are mind, then basically the sun has consciousness. Planets have consciousness.
Absolutely, I believe that.
All things have consciousness. There's certain sounds. If you translate certain waves, vibrations into sound, you start realizing that beyond our limited sensory of hearing, sight, the limited tools we have, the universe is screaming with sound,
Right.
And life.
And then we only can pretty much register a small piece of that.
Yeah.
I watched this. I can't even remember where it's from. I've got terrible memory, but this had something to do with they call it the spirit molecule, which is MDMA.
Yes.
And I think it was a Joe Rogan podcast episode, and he was explaining how I think they were on like ayahuasca, and then they were talking to plants.
Yep.
So, which means, and ultimately, that was pretty much them saying that they tuned into the frequency of what the plants can communicate on, and they showed them how to create a fucking stronger, potent, which is DMT. I was like, whoa! Can you imagine talking to some plants?
I actually could. I could imagine talking to almost anything. I think not talking, but communicating with things.
Yes,
I think we don't have the senses to communicate with certain things.
Right.
I mean, we have such limited senses.
Because like on the visible light spectrum, I think we only can see probably like 1%.
Yeah.
Which means that there's a lot of sound, like you were mentioning earlier, and there's so many things we can't see.
We're blind.
Absolutely.
Right.
Which means we're blind. We can't even see not even a fragment of the colors that exist.
Exactly.
We can't see the electromagnetic spectrum.
Exactly.
Red.
Right.
All these other things. We're so limited in our senses that other animals have, and we're living in the same world but in a different reality.
Right. Different plane of existence type thing.
Yeah, that's the interesting part of it. And it's also like the weird thing about space or looking around for life, is let's say aliens and stuff. It's we wouldn't even recognize life if it doesn't look like Earth life.
Right.
Because why are we looking for Earth life on other planets?
Right. Because this is
Why are we looking for
specifically
life
tuned
look
to what, like,
that's all we could perceive.
right. Okay.
So if things vibrate at different frequencies, it could be a whole bunch of things there, but it's invisible to us because
It's not in our
we can't
dimension.
enter it. Or it could be paradimensional, like
Exactly.
overlapping in our
Right.
dimension. But
It's like everything is here, but it's just fucking on top of each other type.
it's also saying that we might be in the event horizon of a black hole.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of
So that's why
scientists
we
think
can't
that,
go
yeah.
out and nothing could come in.
Okay.
Yeah, that's insane. This is the last crazy question I'm gonna ask you too. It's the last one. Psych. Nah, for real. All right, Jamal, you a smart dude, right? And a lot of people would say that, right? An alien species chooses you to be the new world leader, gifting you with their technology. What are the top 3 things you would do first with this power? Go.
Wait, so these aliens come and they say, "Hey, we're gonna give you whatever technology you want."
And this technology is meant to take over their world.
Take over their world, our world.
Your world, planet Earth, because humans are fighting each other left and right. So you can end all war with this technology, or put everybody into slavery with this technology.
You can't end the war.
Even with the
What was a fundamental part of being human? If you end a war, what's left is not going to be a human being. It's going to be something else. Humans need war to be human. Else war wouldn't exist. Technically. The goal is not to end things, it's to bring it down to a level where it's manageable and insubstantial.
Top 3. What are you going to do with it?
What would I do with it? Well, I would be allowed to have 10,000 wives. I'm gonna do the goofiest. I'm gonna do the goofiest shit with it. You know why?
Yo, I was thinking.
You know why?
More
because think about it.
Yeah.
What you're saying is already happening in reality. We got cell phones. We got this whole network that might as well be alien technology to take over the whole world, called the fucking internet, right? You know, it's called the internet. And what do we do with it? We watch porn, booty stuff. We gossip about each other. Just think about what we could be doing with this technology we got already.
Yeah.
So more than likely, what I'm saying is the most human answer I could give you, man.
Nah, you got it. You got
chicks,
it.
man. I'm spending on chicks. Good food, chick. I'm gonna travel.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna have to pay no taxes. Nah. I'm being stupid.
Nah,
but in reality, what I would do, I would try. I would definitely clean. I would try to use the technology to come up with a new system, to create enough abundance that you don't need socialism or capitalism, and that humanity is forced to create a newer and better system because its needs are met. Understanding that whenever you cure a problem for people, you create 2 new problems.
Right.
So that's the problem.
Right.
Ultimately.
Yeah.
And then I would want people to be able to feel other people with sight, so that they can know empirically that people are as alive as they are. So that would limit the violence dramatically. Being able to kill someone would be like
killing a piece of yourself.
Yeah, chopping off your own arm. You can do it, but will you?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So that's what I would do. So that will cure a lot of the world. And then what I would do is that I would give people the ability to basically go back in time, but not be able to affect it.
Right.
And the reason why that is that the main problem with human beings is that we forget things in 2 generations, after 2 generations that we've already learned.
Right.
But if we could go back and see the lessons, we probably won't make the same mistakes.
That's deep right there. That's deep.
Probably.
I fuck with that. I definitely fuck with that. Mr. Jamal Hodge, the legend, the dreamer, the director, man, it has been an honor having you on here.
Yep.
You got anybody you trying to shout out? Any projects you want to let people know about? Of course, we got the book, The Dark Between the Twilight, everything English, of course.
And then we also got Bestiary of Blood. That's all out on Amazon. Whatever books are sold. I have another book coming out from Crystal Lake Publishing next year in June called I'm Not a Good Person, I'm a New Yorker, a poetry mixtape. And it's about the love and hate relationship you have when you from the good old city of New York. You know?
You
know, all types of crazy experiences, beautiful experiences, the things that make New York, New York.
Yeah.
And then it's a whole bunch of things we got. I mean, we got films coming out. We got TV that we're getting back into. So, just keep your eyes peeled. You can follow me. I'm Director H on Instagram, or you can check me out. Jamal Hodge on Facebook. I have obviously a bunch of writerhodge.com, which is just writerhodge.com, where you can see my writing, my books, and things like that. And that's about it, brother.
Man, thank you for blessing us with your presence.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me, man. You young brothers is doing your thing, man. Y'all inspiring, y'all intelligent, y'all come from real circumstances, and you're coming together as two black men to build something together, man. You and your whole team.
Right.
It's been an honor to see that. It inspires me. You know what I'm saying? As an older head to do better. You know, maybe there's hope yet. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe, man.
Maybe.
Trying to be that, trying to be that brightness in the dark, man.
Yeah.
100%.
You know, I can't say that because I'm too dark to say that. Ain't no brightness on me. Ain't no brightness on me.
Yeah.
You know,
Yo.
I'm blick. I'm not even black. I'm blick.
Black.
If I get the sentiment, you know.
Yeah. No doubt. Farrell, you got any last thoughts, man?
I mean, I think we pretty much covered everything, man. You know, it was just an honor to be here. You know, Jamal, Desalim, man, just having these conversations with you guys, man.
Yeah.
It makes me reflect on myself, man, and how I can better myself, man, and learning, bro. Like I'm here for the experience, man, the human experience,
Yeah. Right. No doubt. And to everybody that's watching, understand that it's the blunt of reality. We're going to keep giving you content. Make sure you follow Director H. Go to his website, Jamal Hodge. Look him up. We out here. What are you talking about? This was so exciting.
No,
man.
facts, man. The crazy thing is, all the conversations behind the scenes, bro. Like,
Listen,
oh my God,
we gonna keep it going after this, man. We gonna listen. We gonna keep it going after this. It's the blunt of reality.
Yeah.
Nah, man.
Yo,
sir.
don't you be a fool. You finna hear the truth. Watch me do what I do. On the pod with the mic and I ain't keeping it cool. Gotta bring the heat, gotta hit the street. Gotta stay 100, they ain't scaring me. You want a censor a boss, you want a censor a king. I'm not taking a loss, facts is all I bring. I'm speaking candidly, ancestors they stand with me. It's Pharaoh and Dessalines, the blunt of reality.